Final Cut Pro is the bad boy of the editing world. A regular old timeline? Nah, he's got a magnetic one. You thought you were working in a timeline? Pfft. Go the project, you silly Billy. Final Cut Pro has legions of fans that can't quite bring themselves to jump ship over to another app. But there's still plenty of room for improvement if Apple want to keep up with heavy competition from the likes of DaVinci. So I'm going to go through 5 features that should definitely be brought to Final Cut Pro ASAP. Rotoscoping. Once an effect that only After Effects nerds had the power to utilize, rotoscoping is now everywhere thanks to AI. But for some reason, editing apps have been quite late to the game when it comes to one-click solutions for roto work. And FCP in particular is way behind when it comes to roto features. They've just introduced a scene removal mask feature, which is an automatic keyer, but it only works well if you have a completely static background behind you. And you barely have any control over the settings for the mask, so it's quite limiting. DaVinci Resolve's Magic Mask is so far the best roto tool that I've seen in a mainstream editing app for its ease of use and the kind of results that you can get from it. And a lot of times I end up hopping into Resolve before sending back the rotoed file into Final Cut Pro. So here's hoping that Apple can add their own version of a roto tool so we don't have to hop back and forth between other applications anymore. Adjusting the duration of multiple clips at the same time. You want to shorten these effects above your clip? Easy, just highlight them all, drag the edges, and what the f. In all other editing apps you can do this, so why does FCP have to be difficult? It makes no sense. There's weird ways around this issue, like splitting the clip and then deleting the remaining section that you don't want to use, or choosing a specific amount of frames that you'd like the clip to be the length of. But all of these are unnecessary steps to do something that should be incredibly simple. Come on FCP, get this sorted soon. Please. No. Source clip grading. I generally don't mind grading in Final Cut Pro. It's fast and you've got all of the main tools that you would want to do a proper color grade, from hue stack curves to being able to stack multiple grade layers on top of each other, even though you can't rename them. That's actually another feature that would be really great to have. For simple edits, you don't need much more than this. But where it falls short is when you start making videos with multiple locations with different lighting and exposure levels. Because then it becomes a nightmare with you having to grade one of these clips, then finding all of the many instances that you've used it across your timeline, then having to apply your grade onto each and every single one of them. But then if you change your mind and you want to go in and tweak your grade after this fact, then you have to go and find all of those clips again, remove the grade that you had previously on it, apply your new grade on top of it, and yeah, it's a pain. Both Premiere and DaVinci get around this problem by allowing you to grade on top of the source of the clip, so that each new instance of this clip that you use in your edit isn't being treated as a completely ungraded file. I'm skeptical if Apple are ever gonna add this just because they've gone on for so long without having it, but hey, us video editors can dream. Some kind of audio mixer for the specific roles. The roles feature in FCP should be amazing. Being able to assign groups of video and audio clips to help better organize your timeline really comes in handy, especially on bigger projects. But why can't I go ahead and apply effects to these same groups? No audio mixing on a specific groups, no group grading, effects. Nah, you can't do any of this. It's such a missed opportunity to elevate timeline organization above anything that either Premiere or DaVinci are doing. So come on, Timmy, we're all asking for it, so why are you holding out on us? Answer me! Better file management. You're about to head out to your favorite coffee shop to do some remote editing, so you take all of your files and put them onto an external SSD, and when you boot up Final Cut Pro again, all the files are offline. Why? FCP has to be one of the dumbest editors when it comes to file management. I mean, you can't even unlink or offline files that you've added into the project library. The 90s just called, they want their file management protocols back. There's many times when I want to open up an old project where I've since offlined the files on my Dropbox sync. And FCP still needs me to hold its hand like a little baby to help point out where those files originally were. DaVinci, on the other hand, is a grown man and is smart enough to know what you want to do with the footage, so it'll automatically relink it all for you. The last Final Cut Pro updates have been pretty underwhelming. So here's hoping that the FCP team will actually start listening to users like me in their upcoming iterations. Or else we're all going to be moving over to greener pastures that apps like DaVinci Resolve seems to be able to offer. That fresh smelling color page. It's a thing of beauty. If you want to see what it was like for me to make the move over to Final Cut Pro after 10 years of being a Premiere user, check out this other video on my channel. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't, or else you'll be forced to manually rotoscope clips of Roger Deakins until your eyes turn to pixels. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.